Obviously this is where I started my YouTube channel. Are we recording? Yeah. Okay. Boop. Date and time. Okay. So, I am now indoors. What was I to say? This room has been mostly like a place of not just like self-reflection, but also profound self-exploration for me. In this room is where I have listened to audiobooks, spoken to friends intimately over the phone. I made, it's where I write in my notebook. And this is where I've been living for the past year since I got out of university. I don't know if I should talk louder, but I might just bump up the audio a little bit, play around with it when I'm putting it onto my computer. But yeah, I've spent many hours in this room. It's not a very big room. About 90% of my worldly possessions alone are in this room as well. And I don't know, it's this place where I am both sure of myself and ultimately limited. Also, yeah, I've washed my hair, had a proper shower. I'm no longer dirty anymore, or greasy, or whatever. But yeah, obviously this is where I started my YouTube channel. It's where I sleep at night. It's where I tinker around with everything. It's where I feel the most emotionally vulnerable. I've had many bedrooms, and I'd say this is the smallest one I've ever had. which is good and bad. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. It's good because, like, small rooms tend to be a little bit more comfy, you know? Like this little pod you can exist in. But also, it can be a nightmare because you don't have a lot of space. Like, for example, I can't really exercise in this room. All I really do is sit down. Obviously it's a very sedentary deal. But then again, that's what going on walks are for around the neighbourhood. So, yeah. One thing that I found interesting is that because I don't really have a room for any significant stretch of time, like, I don't know, like, I've never had a room that I felt fully comfortable with putting things all over the walls. Because I know that within, like, a few years we're going to move. Because that's kind of the pattern that's happened over the years. Ever since my parents got divorced, we've had this habit of moving houses every few years. Or I would, you know, even when we'd stay at a house for a really long time, like when I was a teenager and I was growing up in the countryside, I ended up changing rooms at a certain point. And so when it comes to bedrooms, I'm a bit of a hermit crab. It always feels like I'm not quite set somewhere. And whereas, I don't know, that's nice. It means that I get to know a different environment, I guess. But at the very same time, how do you put it? I feel like I'm in a safe room rather than a dedicated sort of space that I've inhabited. You know, this doesn't feel like a true home. It feels like a sort of safe zone. I think one of my goals in life would be to find sort of a like permanent home for myself. That's sort of my own personal space. Sort of, I would like to move into a spot. I keep having voice cracks because I've not drank a lot today. I'd like to move into a spot where I'm like, okay, I can live here until I die. Like, I'm okay sort of dying in this place. That may sound a bit morbid, but I view it as more of a comfort thing. Ooh. This frog belonged to my nan. Unfortunately, she died more than 10 years ago. But I still have this frog, which is nice, because it was always, she had this sort of, so you'd go into the house, you go through this little, vestibule bed, and you go into her living room, and, she'd have this, like, ridiculously comfy sofa, where if you sat on it, you just, like, fall right asleep, and she'd have, like, a CRT on the other side of the room. She was always watching, like, westerns and that, and she had this, like, large teapot collection, and then you go into the next room over, and under a table in there, she would have a basket of these plushy frogs, and this is where this is coming from. Just a second. So, just, my stepdad came up the stairs and that. But no, yeah, she would have these cuddly frogs, and that place always felt, like, really comfy, you know, with the old furniture and, like, just her presence alone as well. And that's kind of what I want my home to feel like. I like to sort of be a nest. Not like a horrid, messy nest, even though this room kind of is that right now. But, one that is tailored to my more positive psychic inclinations, is how I put it. Actually, I may as well give you a tour around it. I'll just be a second. Okay, so... Oh yeah, by the way, of reference, if you're watching this, this is my collar. Anybody else watching, you're free to call me a degenerate. It was more so a fashion thing, to be honest. Anyway, segue. So, that Firkin video I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I kept the bag for this camera, just in case, like, because I'm wondering whether or not I should get a cassette, like an audio cassette recorder to go in this bag, so I could record, like, high quality audio on the go. It's an old Satchel I have. That is my typewriter, which I sometimes use. Sorry. Let's see. Got my bike helmet, my box of books. Stephen King. I don't really read Stephen King, to be honest. I haven't read him in a while. I think it's just his writing style which gets my back up for some reason. This is a book that I would like to start reading more, but I just haven't gotten around to it. It's Filth by Irvine Welsh. You can see that pretty clearly. This is my setup. So I've got the this Technics. Oh shit. Yeah, no, I usually use this Zazen cushion to hold up that end of the Arturia, but obviously I've been leaving the camera on it. Yeah, I've got my Technics here. This is the model. But yeah, so, and this is the stool that I use to sit on. That's my base. That's my box for my Workstack synth. Record case, hemp bag, because I was kind of hippieing it up for a while. I still consider myself kind of a hippie, I guess. More of a hipster, to be honest. Yeah, this is where the magic happens. There's my laptop. But yeah, this is like where I spend most of my time in my room, on this part. The other part, I don't really want to show you, to be honest, because it's kind of a mess, really. But yeah. Let's see. Whoa. Here we are. Look at that. Temperature. What a doodle of her. I kind of just thought, yeah, I kind of want a temperature on my cupboard door. Because why not? Even though she's not black and white illustration, she's white, but I can probably, I don't know. I like it. I should have really posted it, or posted a better illustration in the Denpo Sagi thread, but I didn't get really around to it. I don't know. Well, that's basically it. Kind of where I vibe. Like I said, I would have showed you the rest of my room, but it's just not that tidy right now, so yeah. Thinking of something else to say. God damn it. I hate allergies. Oh yeah, something about, I've seen Osaka's bedroom plenty of times. I think we all have. And, I don't know, like, I feel like my room is sort of, like, juxtaposed against a lot of Denpa's. Because I see a lot of them have, like, massive rooms. And that. But mine is just kind of, like, compact, I guess. Which, I don't know. It feels nice to have a little slice, I guess. I don't really mind how big my room is as long as I have access to open places to walk, basically. If it was, like, big enough to sit in and use a computer in and keep all of my stuff in, I'd probably settle for, like, a cupboard under the stairs or something. Or some kind of basement or a loft. I wouldn't mind, as long as I, like, could leave and be out in the open world, I guess. I know I'm rambling again, but that's just kind of what you do. I don't really know what else to say. I guess. Well, what I want to do specifically with this little bit of the room here is turn it into like my own little radio studio. Yeah. Because like, I know I've got a bunch of doodles on that door over there. But I'm thinking about, you know, making some kind of backdrop with the cupboard door. And then placing the camera sort of at a better angle so that it includes the backdrop. Well, I don't know, because like, I kind of like this one. This place here. So, I could change the room around. I could have it where, at the table, instead of against this window, it's sort of near my bed, or it goes across. But I don't know if that would be really worth it, because then it would restrict my access to the storage I've got over there. I'll figure something out, I think. I'll figure it out. Yeah.